Former Inglewood police officer recorded by FBI making drug deal with stolen evidence is sentenced. See, they might have killed hustling for y'all on these street corners, these apartment buildings and houses, but it's alive and well in precincts across the country. You got Columbus, Ohio, those some drug dealing ass cops. Now it's Inglewood, and I'm hearing great things about Arvada. Who knows where else? See, who needs a plug and a shiesty middleman when all you need is a badge and an evidence locker? I'm a TRAPSTR. John Abel Baca pulled up to the meeting in a Ferrari with a gram of cocaine and a medical glove straight out of Miami Vice. The man he was there to meet was a customer, and Baca, an Inglewood police officer and the department's union rep at the time, said he had a kilogram more of the product he could sell for $22,000. Buy your blow from Blue. But Baca wasn't working an undercover case. Instead, the meeting in 2021 was being recorded by the FBI. On Tuesday, Baca, 48, was sentenced to 30 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to one count of distribution of cocaine in order to pay a $40,000 fine. See how comfortable he was back there in the pocket? Pulling up in a Ferrari. If you're a detective or an aspiring detective or at least a hater, what's not clicking about this? You're out there, boots on the ground, making these busts, doing the good police work, risking your lives during the raids, only to keep the evidence locker fully stocked so he can turn around and put it all back on the streets to line his bank account. In a plea agreement with federal prosecutors, Baca admitted he'd stolen drugs from Inglewood Police Department's evidence room and sold them on the side for profit. Who needs overtime? I'm going to sell me a hell of a lot of drugs. I don't have to buy anything from anyone. It's all profit. Hell, he could have sold it for 18 a key if he wanted. Former Officer Baca tarnished the badge and dishonored the majority of those who serve and protect our communities with integrity, said Akil Davis, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada echoed that sentiment in a statement, saying Baca abused his position as a law enforcement officer to promote his drug trafficking activities. Baca bragged to a potential buyer in September 2020 that he stole narcotics and money during routine traffic stops. Prosecutors said he offered to sell white China heroin, an unlimited supply of black tar heroin, and a kilogram of cocaine. According to his plea agreement, the buyer informed the FBI of what Baca was saying in February 2021, just running his mouth like it's not illegal. When did he have time to fight crime? He was basically a part-time cop, but with all the drug dealing and everything, half of his shift must have been just riding around looking to get this work off, networking with other potential drug buyers. The buyer, later identified as a confidential witness in court records, asked Baca what he should say if anyone asked where he got the cocaine. Baca reportedly told him, "Tell him it came from effing Mexico," according to court records, blaming it on the Mexicans. Damn shame. Prosecutors focused on two meetings in their case against Baca. In April 2021, Baca drove to a buyer's home in his 2012 Ferrari FF with a small sample of cocaine and a medical glove. The meeting was recorded by federal agents, according to court records. Afterward, the buyer gave the cocaine to the FBI. The product tested at 75% purity. Prosecutors said it's a little whacked up, but it's still sellable. In a follow-up call, Baca arranged to sell the confidential witness a kilogram of cocaine. He met the buyer at his business on May 4th, 2021. On that visit, he drove up in a Nissan Maxima with no license plates. He delivered a brick of cocaine wrapped in a plastic bag and tape, which he carried in a Target shopping bag, according to court records. He asked the buyer for $22,000, which was provided by the FBI as part of their operation. Baca claimed he was making only $1,000 as part of the deal. I call BS, but the government never recovered the cash. Me personally, I think he was stealing the drugs for himself and selling the drugs for himself. But if there's any truth to what he's saying and he's only making $1,000, then that means you're hustling for somebody. That means you're hustling for somebody within the Inglewood Police Department because the drugs came from the evidence room, right? And that would open up a whole new can of worms. That would imply that there's a drug ring within the Inglewood Police Department. Baca told a federal informant that he often traveled to Las Vegas to gamble at casinos and launder his money, according to court records. He sure talks a hell of a lot, doesn't he? Baca Baca was also accused of, if I was getting this type of money, I wouldn't say a word to a damn soul. Baca was also accused of recruiting a second person to help in his drug dealing. The operation is growing. That person, Gerardo Economo, 42, from South LA, was arrested in Las Vegas in June 2021 with 3 kilograms of heroin in his car, prosecutors said. According to federal prosecutors, Baca called Las Vegas police and tried to intervene in Economo's case. He claimed he was Economo's handler and suggested he worked the case off by helping them. Economo was eventually charged with intent to distribute the heroin, and on October 28, 2021, the FBI dug in his yard and found large quantities of drugs wrapped in black plastic, including 1,258 grams of fentanyl and roughly 462 grams of heroin, court records show. FBI agents also found evidence of a drug trafficking operation in his home. There you go. Economo claimed he worked for Baca as an informant and was authorized to transport the drugs to Las Vegas as part of a law enforcement operation. Then why were they buried? Prosecutors said, but he also claimed ignorance of the drugs in his yard. Here's the $64,000 question. If this is such a clandestine operation, then where's the paperwork that says you're authorized to have all these drugs, to be out in Las Vegas doing this, that, and the third, have a handler and an informant and all this? Where is it? Prosecutors said Baca had $300,000 in his bank accounts and a similar amount in investments around the time of his arrest in October 2021. And this is exactly why I don't believe that he was only making a percentage off these transactions. I really believe that he was making all the money for himself, all profit. The amount of money in his accounts dwarfed his household income, prosecutors said. He also owned or partially owned multiple homes in California and Arizona, along with a 2018 Audi Q7, a 2001 Chevy pickup truck, and the Ferrari. Baca offered a sincere apology in court. I'm sorry. Please don't jail me. According to a statement from his attorney, Victor Sherman, he said he recognized that he disgraced the police badge, which he will live with for the rest of his life. He ain't give a damn about that badge. There you have it, kids. John Abel Baca. Do you think 30 months is too light of a sentence? Do you think that he was selling drugs for someone else or by himself?